stocks have been one of the most popular investments in the ASX in recent years. Vulcan Energy Limited is one of the high-growth stocks in the ASX lithium sector due to its focus on decarbonization and sustainable production for lithium hydroxide, ASX code VUL. Today, we are very pleased to invite the founder and CEO of Vulcan Energy Limited, Dr. Francis Wedin, to join us. Welcome, Dr. Wedin.
Thanks for having me on.
Thank you so much for joining us today. So, Dr. Wedin, could you please briefly introduce Vulcan Energy and its zero carbon lithium project?
Yeah, sure. So Vulcan Energy is quite globally unique in that we are an integrated renewable energy, so geothermal renewable energy and lithium chemicals company. So we are already a commercial producer of geothermal renewable energy in southwest Germany, in the heart of Europe, and hopefully soon to be a much bigger producer of renewable energy and heating and power for the German market, which is going through an energy crisis at the moment. But we're also from the same source, which is a deep geothermal brine in the subsurface, so a salty body of liquids deep in the subsurface. As well as producing energy from this brine, we also want to extract the lithium from it. But uniquely, we will extract the lithium with a net zero carbon footprint. So we won't use any fossil fuels in the extraction process. We use some of the energy that we produce from the subsurface to drive our lithium extraction process. And then we sell the excess energy into the grid. So the idea is we produce two revenue streams, one from renewable energy and one from lithium chemicals. And we produce a battery quality lithium chemicals product, which we sell into the European auto and battery industry.
Wonderful. So currently, most of the lithium producers in the world are producing and refining lithium from hard rock mines. How does Vulcan come up with the idea to extract the lithium hydroxide from the geothermal lithium brine in the Upper Rhine Valley?
So we started with the idea of producing a zero carbon lithium product from a zero carbon lithium business. And really we worked backwards from that end goal to find the right process and the right location for that process. And we focused on processes which are already used commercially. So there's a number of locations in the world, including in China, actually, in Qinghai province, where they are able to directly extract the lithium from brines, in this case salt lake brines, without using lots of chemical reagents. So instead using a resin to extract lithium from the brines. So this technology already exists. It already is used commercially. So we looked at that process and we thought we can do this in the Upper Rhine Valley in Germany, but perhaps we can do it even better for the environment and better for the economics of the project, because this process needs heat to work. But here we have the heat already in the brine, so you don't have to use gas to heat up the brine. So that's how we came up with the process. And really it's about bolting together these existing technologically proven techniques, putting them together to create this whole zero carbon lithium process.
Thank you. Stellantis, one of the world's leading automakers and mobility providers, has become substantial shareholder in Vulcan Energy through 76 million Australian dollar equity investment in June. How does this partnership benefit Vulcan Energy?
So Stellantis is one of the largest auto manufacturers in the world. They contain within their group a number of very well-known brands such as Peugeot, Citroën, Fiat Chrysler, Jeep, Lancia, Opel, Vauxhall, among many others. So they're a very large automotive group and very large, particularly in Europe. As I said, they include Opel and Peugeot, Citroën as part of their group, and those brands and those companies are very important for us. We're focused on Germany, and also we have plans to expand into France because the same geothermal lithium resource also goes into France. And Opel on the German side is a very large employer in the same state as us. So they are located in the same state in the city of Kaiserslautern. And having a big, if you like, a big brother partner together with us is very important politically. We really want to be seen as as a European company, as a German-Australian company, developing this project for the benefit of the local communities, because that's what we think we bring. So to have another very large employer on our side, strategically pushing towards the same goal, is a very good result for us.
Thank you. Apart from Stellantis, Vulcan Energy has signed several binding offtake agreements with large battery and car makers companies in Europe. Could you please share more details on the partnerships and the binding offtake agreements?
Sure. So we are now fully sold out for our first 5 years of lithium production. There's a lot more demand, I guess, on top of that. So if we could make the project bigger, we would do, because there's such an enormous demand from the customers. The off-takers that we have includes, so we have Volkswagen, which is the largest company in Germany. Obviously, they need no introduction. Renault on the French side. We have LG as well, one of the largest electric vehicle battery producers in the world. Stellantis, as mentioned, and also Umicore, which is a Belgian cathode manufacturer, and the cathode is the direct user of the product. So we have a really good mix, I think, of different types of off-takers: cathode manufacturers, battery manufacturers, auto manufacturers, all focused on that European market. And they all bring something different technically, politically to the table as customers and as partners for us. So we have a nice mix of different backgrounds. These offtake agreements are very important because, provided we can deliver, they are fully binding. So that means that for bank financing for this project, they are an important support for us to get financing to build the project.
Thank you. Vulcan Energy has a binding collaboration agreement with Ilo Green Power, the largest geothermal energy producer in Italy. How does this partnership add value to Vulcan Energy's development in the future?
So we have a fairly new project in Italy as well as in Germany. It shows good potential for geothermal lithium. It was drilled a long time ago by Enel, actually, so by the same company that we have the agreement with, and they discovered high temperatures in the brine and also high lithium grades. It is early stage, so there's a lot of work to do there, but Enel is a very good partner for us, as you said, the largest geothermal producer in the area, and a very experienced large company with similar goals to us in terms of renewable energy and decarbonization. So a very useful partner for us to develop this project. And already I think we're seeing some positive signs locally. I think there's some good support for this project. So we just have to focus on making it work technically. But yeah, Enel will be a very good partner for us in the future.
Regarding Vulcan Energy future development, what are the key points that investors should be looking for in the future?
From here, we are completing our definitive feasibility study for the larger geothermal operation and also the lithium operation as well. And this study aims to be a basis to get financing from the banks to build the project. So that should be completed either late this year or early next year. That will be something for investors to look out for. Hopefully, it will be a bit of a value inflection point for the company, just to show some of the good work that the team has been doing. We have approximately 150 personnel in the company now, split between the geothermal side and the lithium side. That should be doubling in the next few months as we go into more of the development phase. So after the definitive feasibility study, we will be commencing developments and production drilling in the area. And we have our own drilling rigs as well. So the teams will be starting to go into that more development mode. We also have a demonstration plant, which will be up and running. Well, the commissioning will start end of the year, will continue into early next year for the lithium production. This will be something for investors to look out for as well. We already have a pilot plant, which has been operating successfully now for 15 months. And this will be the next stage of development. So quite a few, hopefully, things to look out for investors in the coming months. And then, you know, everything's leading towards our first production and first commercial production. And we're aiming to be, you know, one of the largest, if not the largest, lithium producers in Europe in between 2025 and 2030.
Last month, Tesla CEO Elon Musk said that lithium refining is a license to print money. What do you think about his comments?
Well, he likes to make exciting comments on Twitter. I mean, I think you know, lithium production, lithium development is a lot more complex, I think, than he stated. You know, certainly we see a lot of projects which you know, have many technical issues, so you need a really good technical team. So it's not as easy as just having a license to print money. But I think he is correct in that there's a very clear supply-demand deficit in the coming years. There's simply not enough lithium coming into the market, and there's a really strong demand for lithium for electric vehicles in particular. And we're seeing this now, but we're going to be seeing this in 2025 and 2030, I think, and beyond. There is not enough investment going into lithium projects. So we see that supply-demand tightness continuing, and we see the price strength in the lithium market really continuing as a result of that. So I think in that sense, the comment was correct.
So from your perspective, what might be the potential challenges for lithium companies in the future?
Well, we certainly see that the carbon footprints of the lithium product is a very important factor, and that's why we have positioned ourselves as a zero carbon lithium company, the world's first and only zero carbon lithium company. When we sit down with customers and automakers, battery manufacturers, we sit down with the person negotiating the contract and also the sustainability person. You know, those are the two people in the room. So the sustainability is very important for the customer. And lithium currently has a high carbon footprint from hard rock production. So we see that as a big topic now and in the years to come.
What's your thought on the lithium carbonate price in a long term from supply and demand perspective?
Well, I'm probably repeating myself with the comments on Elon Musk's comments, but yeah, I mean, certainly between now, I guess, and the next decade, that will continue to be very, very strong. There isn't enough supply coming into the market. There is enormous demand. And there is not enough investment going into this sector. So yeah, certainly see that that strength in the price continuing. The spot price may go up and down quite considerably. It's a spot price, and it's still a small market. But you know, long term, I think the price will be very, very strong going forwards. And from our perspective, and from customers' perspective, we want to see more stability and less sort of up and down with the price. And hopefully, as the market grows, it will become more stable. But there's very few sectors in the world, in any industry, where you see the compound annual growth rates that you see in the lithium sector. So growing every year by at least 30% compound annual growth rate. It's a pretty exciting space to be in.
My last question from me. How about the China EV market in your mind? Is it likely for Vulcan to build any partnership with Chinese EV or EV battery producers in the future?
Possibly, but I don't think from our European projects. I think in the future, if we can find areas with similar geological characteristics, so the geothermal and the lithium in the same place, then we would look to apply our expertise and our technology to developing those projects elsewhere in the world. So it could be North America, it could be in China. I think we see from an economic, but also an environmental perspective as well, I think we see much more localization of markets. So we see our European projects as supplying the European market. In the future, certainly we could look at supplying other markets as well, but our projects would probably be over there in those markets. So it depends on the geology. If the geology is right, then yes, maybe.
Brilliant. We're looking forward to hearing more about Vulcan Energy from you in the future. And this is the end of the interview. Thanks again for your precious time.
Thanks very much, Shanna. Thanks for having me on.